Hi students, in this video we are going to solve problems related to functions. The question is, find the domain of each of the following real valued function. Before we solving this problem, we just understand some basic concepts. That is, domain means what? What is the meaning of domain? Domain is a set of all inputs that can be given to the given function. But when we cannot give all the numbers as the input to the real functions, because when we give some input to the real function, it must produce the output. For some input, it may not be in the position to find out the answer. For example, for some input, it may produce the output as infinite. Actually, infinite is not a number. We can go towards the infinite, but we cannot reach infinite. Hence, when we give some inputs that leads to infinite, means the function will not work. So what we need to do is, we need to clearly specify what are the numbers, values can be given as an input. That we must find out. In this question, we need to list out what are the elements will be there in the domain set. That is, set of all inputs. It means what are the elements will present in the domain set. That is what we need to find out. For example, if you look at the first question, f of x is equal to 1 divided by x plus 2. If you observe this question is in the form of fraction. If the denominator is 0, means constant, divided by 0 means the output will be equal to 0. Hence, the denominator should not be equal to 0. Hence, we should not give any input which makes this function's denominator as 0. For example, x plus 2 equal to 0 means 0 means x value will be equal to minus 2. Hence, we should not give minus 2 as an input for this function. Apart from minus 2, we can give set of all real numbers to this function. So it will produce the output for the all inputs if they are set of all real numbers except number 2. So that will be our domain. I just explained it now. This concept only I explain now. F of x assumes real values for all real values of x except for the value of x satisfying this condition. That is, if denominator is equal to 0, means for that input, that is x is equal to minus 2. X is a input, I already told you. If you give input as minus 2, means this function will not produce real value as the output, because we are talking about real valued function. Hence, we can give set of all real numbers as an input except this minus 2. Here I have written minus 2, set of all real numbers, minus inside the set bracket we have minus 2. I hope you understand this first problem. Now we need to solve the second problem. Again, this problem also is in the form of fraction. When it is in the form of fractions, the denominator should not be equal to 0. If the denominator is equal to 0, means the f of x output tends to infinite. It cannot give specific real value as an output. Hence, we can give set of all real numbers as an input except the value of x for which the denominator is 0. So if we consider this, x minus 3 equal to 0 means x is equal to 3. If we give 3 as an input for this function, means denominator will become 0. Hence, we cannot give 3 as an input for this function f of x. Hence, this domain set is equal to set of all real numbers minus 3. The 3 is present inside the set bracket. I hope you understand this second problem. Now we move on to third question. The third question is, f of x is equal to 2x minus 3 divided by x square minus 3x plus 2. Again, if you observe this question, it is in the form of fraction. Hence, the denominator value should not be equal to 0. Here we need to find out for what values of x the denominator becomes 0, and then those values of x should not be given as an input for this entire function. Hence, we will take the denominator separately and we will find out for what values of x this denominator is equal to 0. That is, x square minus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. The entire value is equal to 0 means using the middle term, splitting the middle term concept, we can find out the x value. So you know how to calculate it. So if you give the input for this function as 1 comma 2 means the denominator becomes 0. Hence for this function we can give set of all real numbers as an input except these two values 1 comma 2. These are written inside the set bracket. I hope you understand this third problem. Similarly, we need to solve this fourth problem. Again, it is in the form of fraction. The denominator should not be equal to 0. Hence, we need to find out what are the values of x for which the denominator will be 0. If you know how to calculate it, we will factorize it and we will find out the 0 of this quadratic expression. So for the inputs 1 comma 4, this function will produce the output as 0. Hence for this function x square plus 3x plus 5 divided by x square minus 5x plus 4, we cannot give the input 1 comma 4. Except these two numbers we can give set of all real numbers. So the domain of this function is set of all real numbers minus this 1 comma 4 which is written inside the set bracket. I hope you understand these 4 problems clearly. Thank you students. Thanks for your cooperation.